before it was like I've always had this abstract idea of what I wanted to do. Like I always knew, okay, I'll be an entrepreneur. I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to, it was an abstract idea. But now I feel like I'm at the age and the point where it's like things are now more concrete and it's like, okay, I actually see this is what I want to do. This is how I can do this and X, Y, and Z.
So a lot of times, like I can let things go relatively quickly. Like it's just in the moment, I do dwell on it, but as time goes on, I start to let the shit go. Especially once mentally, I say, you know what, I don't care. When I don't care, I really truly don't care no more. And thank you for tuning in to the Traumaless Podcast. Make sure that you follow, like, comment, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms at Traumaless Podcast. For those who don't have the time to watch us, know that we do have an audio version on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you'd like to support, go and cop the merch on our website at www.traumalessapparel.com, or you can donate to our Traumaless Cash App at Officially Traumaless. Links for everything will be found on the link tree that is in the description below. Thank you and enjoy the episode. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of season 2 of the Traumaless Podcast. I'm your host, JR.
And I'm Pat.
So we're here today. We're going to be able to get into our mental tapping. Pat, I'll let you take control of that.
What's up, everybody? How y'all guys feeling? If you're here at the Traumaless Podcast, we like to do a mental tap in, just check in and see how everybody feeling. So how are you feeling this week? How's your week been? How are you feeling in the new year? How's 2026 going for you?
Um, so to say how 2026 is going for me, I gotta kind of do a quick little rundown of how 2025 ended for me. Where it started off with me getting a tooth removed, being in pain for about a week and a half, then going from that to getting into an accident with my car being totaled, me and Nate Dogg being in pain. Um, then from that, getting sick going into Christmas. What else? And my pop having to go to the hospital, being in there on Christmas due to his diabetes level being super high. And after that, he got out just to go back in 2 days after for 4 days straight. And he came back home literally, I think, on New Year's or the day before. Um, then my mom ended up being sick in the New Year's. Like it was really hectic at the end of the year. And like so now going into this year, like it was chill for a little bit and then went to Miami for my birthday, as you know.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Appreciation. Turned 31. I'm old as hell. um so it's right now it's chilling. Like ain't got really too much to complain about. We'll see as the year goes on.
What would you say you're looking forward to most this year?
Change, more change, and how I handle that change. Yeah, I'll say that the most. How about you? How you feeling, big dog?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I would say I've been in a very contemplative state, reflective state. Just more so just observing, just like my life, just my habits, what just paying attention to what feeds me, what doesn't, just paying attention and observing all of these different things. I feel like it was funny. I feel like I closed out 2025 kind of how like I started like 10 years ago. So it was like kind of like a full circle moment for me. Um, so I just really just been reflecting, just, like just all the different experiences I've had, just, what worked, what didn't work, just looking at how far, I have come, And then the small part of that is, holding myself accountable as well. Like looking at, I did waste a lot of time. I did, put my time and energy into a lot of things or situations and people that didn't really serve me. And it's not even necessarily to like say that like in a bad way, but just more so looking at it from the perspective of like what type of mindset I was in, what why I did those different
Mm-hmm.
things or whatever the case may be. Um, but overall, I would say I'm pretty good. I would say I definitely have a lot more clarity. Um, Definitely this year. I would say my biggest like my theme for this year. I feel like I mentioned this before, but my biggest theme this year is consistency. Um, yeah, consistency because I feel like I've been going through a lot of different changes, meeting a lot of new different people, learning a lot of new different things. And like I said, just getting more clear. It's funny. I was talking with my best friend about this last night. But me and her were talking. Um, Before it was like I've always had this abstract idea of what I wanted to do. Like I always knew, okay, I'll be an entrepreneur. I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to, it was an abstract idea. But now I feel like I'm at the age and the point where it's like things are now more concrete and it's like, okay, I actually see this is what I want to do. This is how I can do this and X, Y, and Z. So just really shifting from, I guess it's kind of funny, like when they say you turn 25, your prefrontal cortex turns on and you like
Mm-hmm.
really become an adult. It's like, yeah, I'm at that point where it's like at that middle point of, I wouldn't say I'm fully there yet, but just at that middle point of like shifting from the childish mindset. When I say childish mindset, I just mean like the mentality that I've had since high school and shifting from that and that same narrative, that same, story, them same habit, shifting now into the adult version of me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of where I've been at lately.
It's funny because the fact that you had spoke on the fact of like turn 25 and how the frontal cortex of the brain really starts to develop and everything. Like I've had this conversation on TikTok live with a couple different people when it comes towards like the general question I ask them, like what classifies somebody as an adult? Like is it the age or is it the experience that you go through? What makes somebody an adult? And it's a question that's hard to really answer because obviously the legality of things says once you turn 18 you are classified as an adult, but the a lot of times like us as people we do a lot of adult things before we're legally an adult. Like a lot of people be drinking at an early age, a lot of people be smoking, a lot of people be fucking at an early age. It's like we do a lot of things as an adult very early, and so it really leads me to believe like what really is like the whole thought process behind that. I really be
Is an
trying
adult or like what makes an
to
adult?
what makes an adult, because you can sit here and say like your age, but then you have a lot of people that are considered adults because they're 21, 25,
So
30, all that.
let me backtrack and ask you so I'm like we on the same page. What
Mm.
is to you, what is your definition of an adult?
Um, I'll say somebody that can be able to sit down and make the cognitive decisions, like and understand the repercussions of everything and take on all the responsibilities that that comes with everything that you decide to do within life. Meaning, let's say if you decide to have sex with somebody, understanding the repercussions that hey, I can have a kid. Now, once you have this kid, what is it that you're going to do? How are you going to take care of that child and all this and that? Like understanding all of those things and going through with the decisions on whether or not to keep the child and move forward or not. So I think taking on those responsibilities and having those decision making skills, like and the experience, is what makes an adult, along with the age. But everybody look at it differently.
I would say, I mean, granted, of course, I feel like through society we would say age is what makes you an adult. Um, but I don't fully believe that it's also just solely experience because it's like I'm a firm believer in the fact that you only can grow as much as the experiences that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I do agree, like, as an adult, it's like, taking ownership of, your life and your responsibilities. But then there's also like, I don't know, I feel like people make childish decisions, but
Mm-hmm.
they're aware and they don't care about the
Right.
consequences. So it's like, even it's like, in that sense, it's like you're still an adult, but you're just choosing to
Mm-hmm.
make childish decisions. So it's like, that's for me why, for me, I asked what like defines an adult, because I kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I feel like, granted, yeah, like, it just gets to a certain point where you reach a certain age where you know what you're doing and you're okay with the actions and
Mm-hmm.
you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yes, to the other contrary belief, people might view that as childish, but I kind of look at it as is that that's that person choosing to
Mm-hmm.
make the adult decision to be childish because of they're okay with because in their mind they're justified based off the results that they get or whatever the case may be. Like, for example, like somebody that always struggles with money or is
Mm-hmm.
always asking somebody for money, like they play on the sympathy card because they know if I act helpless, people are going to give me money. That's not a childish mentality. That's, yes, it's a childish act, but it's not a childish mentality, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Essentially, I get what you're saying. Like in that instance, like that's their part of being able to understand what it means to manipulate.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the thing. As a kid, you learn how to manipulate very early. Like kids learn how to be able to play parents against each other. Like when you have a 2 parent household, or play like on emotions. Like if they do certain things, like if you have a child, like they learn early that if I cry a lot, I'll get what I want. Like there's times I go to the market and I hear kids like just falling out, crying, screaming, all that type stuff, and the parents just give in because they don't want to hear that noise. They don't want to deal with it. So kids start to learn at a very early age. If I do this, this is the result that I get. So a lot of times, like going into adulthood, we learn those things. Like we pick that up from very, very early. So I wouldn't necessarily say that. Well, the act can be childish, but it's just about in life. Like we learn to do certain things to be able to get what we want,
Right, but
good
then
or
we,
bad.
I mean, yeah, but to my, like, so I feel like this is where the adult part in your adult brain, or like what it means to be an adult. A child does it just based off of what they see, so they learn
Hmm.
from their environment.
Yeah,
An adult is going to plan, is going to study, is going to research, is going to
hmm,
figure out. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, so it's like a child doesn't have that, like, yes, you learn that as a child, but then there's a point in your life where you continue to choose to be that way.
hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why
No,
I say
yeah,
it's an adult decision to do childish acts.
yeah. But that's why the question does stand to what qualifies you as an adult. Like it's still hard to really sit here and say what does, like day in day out, especially once other people get involved and have this conversation, because we're all going to have different viewpoints. Like we could sit here and talk about it until we blue in the face, but like one lady, she was like, when the brain fully develops, like which is at 25, like then that's when your age and your brain fully catches up to each other. But then
Hmm.
another guy, he said like, well, once they turn 18, they're able to make the adult decision to go out and do what they want to do. Like if they wanted to go and rob a bank or go and off somebody, like they're able to do all these things, and they made that conscious decision. So it's like, does that mean that they're not an adult because like they they are still considered a child because their brain isn't fully developed, but they made adult decisions? So it's like it's a tug of war all the time to really like try to figure out what really classifies and qualifies you as an adult. Some countries you're an adult once you turn 17
I mean,
or
yeah, I'm
16.
not gonna lie. I do kind of lean to the side of like 25 and your brain fully being developed,
Mm-hmm.
because I think as you get older, you can you can understand a child making adult decisions because they don't
Mm-hmm.
know better. But then it's like I said, once your brain fully developed, because it's like I don't know all the science off the top of my
Mm-hmm.
head because I'm into I like to study neuroscience, but like it's definitely science. Like, just talking about just like the different like your brain essentially thinks differently.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say at like 25 and up, if you're still that same person, you
Yeah.
consciously are choosing
Mm-hmm.
to,
No, and
that,
I get you. I definitely understand.
yeah.
But anyway, what brought us here today, Pat? What you want to talk about?
Uh, I feel like I wanted to start off the new year talking about how trauma affects our relationships and just
Mm.
kind of just have some dialogue, a discussion about that. Different.
So, what essentially brought that topic into your brain? Like, was it just like you just trying to think of a topic, or what? Like, full transparency. If you was just trying to think of a topic, that's fine.
No, I'm not gonna lie. So like the situation that happened this morning at work is what kind of like put it into my head because I was just like reflecting on
Hold on, say that again. The
the
what?
situation at work this morning.
Oh, me and
Yeah,
you. Oh, okay.
yeah.
I
But it put
just
me.
needed a nap. Leave me alone.
But no, it put me into like I said, I've been very reflective and contemplative,
Hmm.
and so what I don't know, it just in thinking on like just dissecting like the situation from earlier. It wasn't really necessarily you. I was dissecting, well, kind of like you, but not like it was more so of an interpersonal type of reflection and just realizing that like how like how we easily it can become triggered and how
Hmm.
like will maneuver through our trauma and how
Yeah.
like the impact and the effects that it has on not just romantic relationships but
Friendships and everything, just
everything
relationships in general.
around you. So yeah, that's kind of like where the thought came from. But
Mm. So I triggered you.
yeah, you definitely did. I'm not gonna lie.
Apologize.
No, but it wasn't in like a bad way. I'm not gonna lie. So like Um, I feel like with you, it's funny to say this because like you're older than me, but just like you remind me of the younger version of me. Like, and when I say that, I just mean like the how you react to certain things or how you deal with certain things. It's like
Hmm.
granted, like I'm still working on it myself, but like I realized like for me, it just signified like okay, it signified a couple things for me. It's like I have this issue where it's like I'm always trying to fix people, and
Hmm.
sometimes I don't know how to just shut up. Like
Hmm.
whenever I hear someone saying like talking down on themselves or like have
Hmm.
a certain type of mindset, whatever the case may be,
Hmm.
I'm always trying to insert like my like point of view or my
Right.
perspective, and it's like I'm starting to realize like it kind of just taught me that like I don't have to. What's the word I'm looking for?
Search yourself.
Not insert. It's another word. I feel like it starts with a P. What's the word? Not project. I don't know. But anyway,
I don't know.
I kind of lost that train of thought.
My vocabulary is very small. Shut the hell up.
But no, like even then, like for example, like you have a problem with change. You like things to be very, very
Structure.
structured and very like, and just like using an example like today, what it showed for me was just like why I was upset was because it was like, first of all, that was something little. But then I was like, how I was looking at it from an observer's perspective. I looked at it as I watched you choose to continue to be mad. Then I watched you not use the necessary options you had to like alleviate the situation. So in hindsight, what that reflected back to me was like I do the same. I may not do it about, I may do it
Mhm.
differently, but what that reflected back to me was like I be doing the same shit. Like, like when things don't go my way, I have a problem with it. And I sit there and I dwell, and it be different options and things that, I have,
Mhm.
to help. And yeah. So that's kind of like what then led to like me thinking about like, damn, all these different times where it's like I'm operating in this ego space, i.e., sometimes reacting out of trauma, the effect that it has had on people or like people trying to help, people trying to tell me. So, and
Mhm.
just the way I may react or me being defensive. So, yeah.
Yeah, even with that situation, like sometimes I get to a point where I care so much about my relationships with people, like where I don't want to say things that's going to either like ruin that friendship. So a lot of times, like just like this morning, I just walk away. I'd rather just walk away and then let things just cool off and then come back later. Like, was I frustrated? Yeah. Was it that big of a deal? No. But there's times where certain things, like little things, will get to me. Like I said this morning, like I am human. Like, and I recognize that with everybody. Like, there's going to be times where something small can be very, very big, just randomly. Why? I don't know. What the fuck is you? I'm geeking. Um, nah, what the comments say? I'm geeking. Yeah. Um, but yeah, sometimes like little things can become very big for like people at the most random times because it probably did strike a chord within your trauma, or just sometimes it just irritated you. Like, don't know why, but it could have just been irritating. So they don't here trying to read the comments, struggling to read. Oh, the goddamn privacy screen. But yeah, no, I definitely get that. Like, but again, like I said, I do apologize for my part that I played in that. Like,
I wasn't nothing like I always tend to look at situations like when things affect me, I always look at myself first. And like I don't know, like it's funny, I'll resort back to a couple people done brought this book back up to me, but the four agreements, and it's like I kinda like forgot what the four agreements are. But that goes to like, taking nothing personal.
right.
But you take things personal when you are operating in that space of like ego or trauma. So to you, how do you think trauma has affected your relationships in your life?
Um, it affected me greatly in a couple different ways. One of it due to my lack of confidence. Like, my lack of confidence has affected me in even my most recent relationship, where I constantly compare myself to others. I do a lot of comparison, but that's due to my own lack of confidence, my trauma. Because growing up, not having like the security from my own father, like, it's been in my life. I love my dad, but due to like certain situations where I felt like that he did not protect me, he didn't stand up for me and everything, it always makes me feel like that I got to stand up for myself. I got to always constantly uh, uh, say something for me. Because if he's not going to do it, if nobody's going to come and apologize to me for their wrongdoings, then I got to stand up for myself, and I got to constantly keep putting myself out there. And even times where if like I'm being told that I'm not good enough, now I feel like, damn, like maybe I'm not, because I'm constantly failing. I'm not doing as well. Like, then I'm being compared to my siblings. Like, my siblings fucked up in life. Like, if you're comparing me to them and you're making it seem like I'm going to go down the same pathway as them, then it's like, what the hell? Like, so it starts to really like play on my confidence. Shit. Well, I don't know if you did, but a lot of us, we took the goddamn SATs. Like, I didn't do so well the first time. Second time around, I'm like, oh shit. Like, I'm gonna try to take it the second time so I can get into a better college. My dad like, well, you ain't taking it since it's been a certain amount of time. Normally you do better the second time around, but he ain't have confidence that I do better the second time around. Damn, you don't got confidence in me? What the hell? I fucked up my knee going into high school. My sophomore year, tweaked it again. I still wanted to play my last 2 years. He's like, oh, like, it's not like you a top number one recruit right now. Damn. So those things like constantly ate away and chipped away at my goddamn confidence. And then going into being a young adult, trying to talk to women, constantly getting shot down left and right. Then, but all that stuff just constantly just played a part on my mental and just ate away at me playing sports. Like, people that's around me not even having confidence in me to do certain things. Like, oh, you're a center. Bitch, I'm 5'11". I'm not no fucking center. I'm a guard. But you're trying to box me into this position, which caused me to constantly box myself. into certain positions throughout my whole life. So because of that, me having a lack of confidence has affected my relationships with people. Is I talk down about myself a lot. You know it. You've seen it. You and Nate. So it really it plays a part in different ways where it's caused me to lose relationships, miss out on pussy, um, just a bunch of different things. Like I just
So like, what like give examples of like how it actually like impacted your relationships? Like, what is like, you know?
so like let's take my most current relationship that I was in. In that relationship, due to me not having the confidence that I had and constantly compare myself, I would bring that up a lot. If she would be vulnerable and say, "Hey, well, this is what my past relationships was like this was our dynamic and this and the third," I would constantly feel like that I'm not as good because mentally they connected on a higher level. Like, and I'm like, shit, well, I'm not as smart as that nigga. Like, I don't have that type of knowledge that he does. But because y'all connected on that type level, I I'll never be able to connect with you to that degree. But just because I don't have his knowledge doesn't mean that I'm stupid or anything. But due to my lack of confidence, that automatically started to make me compare myself to everybody. Like, oh, they can do that, this and the third. Now, why I can't? Like I constantly did that, and it did hurt things and make stuff real rocky for us. Yeah, I don't, I don't, I don't know. Like it's been very difficult. Been very difficult with these relationships with when you don't have the confidence, including dating. Dating is very horrible.
What do you? So what do you? Cause I think I feel like we do have this conversation a lot. I want to ask like, what do you? What do you think? Like, I would say, what do you think it would? What do you think will help you build your confidence? But I do kind of just more so want to get at like, what do you think it would take to help for you to change that narrative that you tell yourself, or like, how do you think you could go about doing that?
Um, I feel like seeing some type of success. Like I always told myself, like I just need a win. Like I just need a win. Sometimes you just need like for us basketball players and everything. Sometimes you just need one bucket to go in. Like once you get that one bucket to go in, then everything starts to open up for you. So for me, it's just having that one win in life that I feel like that I actually tried it and it succeeded. Like so once that changes and I start to see results in something, then it's like, finally. And then I feel like that's when things going to turn the corner for me and I'm going to really start to like progress and move forward. But I'm in therapy. I'm working on that. I'm
Do you
working
feel
on
like therapy is helping?
yeah, like it definitely is. And also like after like we just me and Mike just had this conversation recently. Because me and her is still cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told her that one, I already wanted to go to therapy, so therapy was already helping my mental. But because of that relationship, like her being the way that she is, I wanted to change and be better. Like not only for her, but then also for myself because I wanted that relationship back. Like came to understand not getting that relationship back, which is perfectly fine. Like that happens to all of us. But due to that, that changed my mindset. It started to make me think of things differently. Started to make me instead of being reactive to everything, I started to just like, all right, let me think. Like, is this or is that? Like, let me just actually dissect what's going on. Like, even if it's a conversation that somebody like wants to come to me and talk about, instead of me like just giving my overall just dialogue and saying shit, it's like, hey, do you want somebody to just being a listening ear, or do you actually want somebody that's gonna give you advice? And like even just that small thing just started to really like change things in my head, and the wheels would start to turn a little bit more on my mindset. Yeah. Well, how about you? How are things for you when it comes to your relationships with people?
Definitely a work in progress.
Yeah, because you
Um,
don't like to answer the phone for nobody.
oh,
I'm like, damn it, Pat, not answering. I called your ass while I'm on my vacation and everything. Like, oh, I'm
you
sleeping.
know, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I did answer the phone because, like, you called to tell me nothing.
I
I'm not
called to
gonna.
tell you
You
something.
called me to tell me nothing.
I called to
I'm
tell
glad.
you
I'm not,
something,
honestly. I'll
man.
be glad. I'm kind of glad I was sleeping. I didn't answer the phone. I'm not. I'm gonna keep it 100 because then that would have pissed me off. Because like you, I almost did it,
Hey, I'm proud of myself. I almost did it.
but I would say I'm definitely still a work in progress. I'm very hyper independent. It's how like I grew up.
Mhm.
Um, I've kind of always like I don't know, just always had to depend on myself. It's
Mhm.
kind of how I navigated. Um, and that's kind of like I feel like I've formed this kind of hard exterior to an. I'm not gonna say to an extent. I formed it. I've kind of became very hard
Whoa,
and.
no diddy. Hey, listen, we having a regular conversation right now, bro. I did. I
Anyways,
did.
but I really built up this very hard exterior, and I realized like one of the ways that like my trauma affects my relationship is that I hold people. So I hold myself to a high standard, and so the standard that I hold myself to, I hold everyone else to, and I expect everyone to meet
Mhm.
those expectations. And sometimes those expectations can be unrealistic, especially when you deal with different people. Also, I'm the type of person to where I'm dealing with something, I retreat and I like just isolate myself. Um, I don't know, because I just feel like, granted, yes, I am aware of there's community, there's people that
Mhm.
love you, that want to help you and support you. I'm also aware of like the fact that like nobody wants to hear about the same problem that you just talked about yesterday and it's still affecting you today. Nobody wants to keep hearing when
Who wants
like
to say nobody?
it so the thing about it is it's like I think we have to be real about how we are as people. If
Mhm.
I keep coming to you about the same thing over and over and I'm giving you all of the options, no matter how much you love me, yeah, you're gonna get tired of hearing that. And you're not gonna if all you hear from me is like, oh, I'm down, I'm like, that's
Mhm.
all I say, that's gonna start bringing your energy down. And you as a person, you have the right to say, I don't wanna
Mhm.
it's not that you have to cut me off, but that's just the reality of it. It's like nobody wants to sit and keep soaking in your problem, especially when you got your own problems
Mhm.
and you're maneuvering and working through it your way, getting through your own issues in your way. So my perspective is it's like could I do better at talking to being more open with people? Yes. But also at the same time, I do feel like through like me navigating all my younger years throughout high school and all these things, kind of navigating that through myself, that's what developed like my self-awareness. That's what developed like my perseverance. That's what like developed like made me like who I am. And it's like it's what helped me like keep going in spite of or like for like it's funny. So like I mean, people will pick up on it, but like I do have confidence issues, but nobody would ever really see that because that's not how like I present myself. So like I feel like how you speak externally sometimes is how my internal dialogue is. But my insecure that's one thing I
I
will
don't be
say
seeing none of that from you.
because it's always internal and that's why you see me quiet or you see me very reserved or you see me
Mhm.
looking like I don't want to be bothered or
The
it's a
fact that it just throws me because of the fact like you're good with talking to people. Like you're more like outgoing. You'll go out places and do stuff, do a lot of things. I ain't doing none of that shit because of the fact that I'm like I don't know how to talk to people. approach somebody, a lady and all that type of stuff, the furthest I get is like, "Hi, my name is. What's your name?" That's it.
It's funny you
Like,
say that, and it's like because I don't be feeling like that. I feel like it'd be difficult for me, but that's because again, the trauma like shaping like your perspective and like how
mm,
you view like I feel like also another thing how the trauma affects your relationships is that you don't clearly see yourself
mm-hmm,
and you don't clearly see the impact that your actions have on like for me like I feel like my trauma and I feel like just for definition purposes when I
mm-hmm,
say trauma I mean just any type of pain we've experienced.
mm-hmm.
So based off of the pain that I've experienced, what was I saying before that?
How it affects like you and other people.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. How you view yourself. So you develop this identity based off of like the pain. Like develop all of these different mechanisms, these different walls and different things, and
Mm-hmm,
that becomes your identity. And you look at it as like a way of being. So you don't clearly see, I don't clearly see how like, oh,
mm-hmm,
I'll be talking about, oh, I'll be isolated. But then I'm also not like reaching out to people. I'm also not like, communicating and telling people,
mm-hmm.
oh, I may be feeling down or hey, like I want to get out the house. I want, expressing those different things.
So my question would be: have you ever given anybody a chance to be able to carry that weight for you?
I mean, I do, but then it goes back to the point of where I realize I have a problem with not being able to let go. It's always been like my issue. I suppress so much
Mm-hmm,
that like, yeah, like I don't know, I just suppress so much. So it's like there are times where it's like I do like open up or talk, but it's really kind of like when the weight gets heavy. But
mm-hmm,
like on a regular day to day, or like you know, if something happens, it's just like, or if somebody says something to me that I don't like, it don't even necessarily got to be me suppressing. Well, yeah, I guess I would still tie into that. But like somebody could say something to me that I don't like, but
mm-hmm,
instead of like voicing or saying how I feel, I just suppress it and that just keeps happening, happening, happening until it just
mm-hmm.
just kind of gets to the breaking point. And that has been the biggest issue throughout my life. Y'all haven't seen well, kind of y'all like so that's the thing. Like,
I think we've seen glimpses, but we
yeah,
ain't never see it like fully.
yeah, um, and that will always has been like managing my controlling my emotions is like
Mm-hmm,
would be my biggest downfall if I don't work on it because when I do get to that point and I do the lid finally blows off the top,
mm-hmm.
I'm not just mad about that one situation. It's
There's an accumulation of things.
everything that like,
Mm-hmm.
and then on top of that, it's like I also have a problem with dwelling on negative thoughts, which then therefore stirs up more,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So
Tr-
why not just? So a lot of times, like I can let things go relatively quickly. Like it's just in the moment I do dwell on it, but as time goes on, I start to let the shit go. Especially once mentally, I say, you know what, I don't care. When I don't care, I really truly don't care no more, and that's probably a good thing for me. But there is stuff that does stick to you as a person that because of it being a part of your trauma that it's going to last, it's going to linger around. So my question, like, why is it that you ain't never at least like somebody who's probably been close to you, as you start to notice that it's building up there, try to offload some of that, or at least try to talk to somebody and see like, hey, like let me at least get this off of my chest. So emotionally, like even if they can't do anything to change it, but at least emotionally, I could be able to talk about this and get it out to at least one person.
no, man, I mean, I do. I
Mm,
mean, I do. It's just more so, like I said, I think it's in the moment
mm,
more so in the moment and like day to day and just learning how to it goes back to one of the four agreements learning not to like take things personal. I feel like I'm not gonna lie, So me and my best friend was talking about this. We be having some good conversations. Shout out to my man.
I need to meet your goddamn best friend.
Shout
Because
out
you
to
keep talking about your goddamn best friend. I need to meet him.
said
Boy or girl?
her.
I said them. No, I didn't say him. Look at you. I didn't say him. I said I gotta meet them. Actually, I said meet them. EM. But
But yeah, no. For the last 5 years of my life, like I use spirituality and personal development as an
mhm,
escape. And so, like, with that being said, like, remember when Precious was on the podcast and she said, "I'm learning how to be human again."
mhm.
That really resonated with me. I really understood that.
Shout out to Precious.
Because, yeah, in the granted, yes, I've learned a lot from that side of things, but I've also have used that as a way to like try to avoid dealing with my feelings or
Mm,
to over like so like for example, if some like you could tell me like shut the fuck up
mhm,
on a certain day of time and for whatever particular reason that may have like affected me. I try to like overcome the process of like even dealing with a process and that by like using the higher knowledge, like, oh, don't take it personal and like,
mhm,
it doesn't matter. But I never really allow myself the room to like really fully feel what I feel because I feel like, oh, it's me being immature, it's oh me being
mhm.
childish, it's oh me, I need to let this trauma go or oh I'm just being triggered or.
That's
But
funny.
that goes back to,
That's real
holding
funny.
myself to a higher standard and like feeling like, oh, I shouldn't be. That's what it is. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be feeling this way. So,
I find that funny because I feel like we're the opposite. Because you be trying to use your knowledge and to be able to hold everything in and not even allow yourself to feel the emotion. I'll be allowing myself to feel the emotion, and now therefore now I'm trying to use my knowledge to be able to control it, understand it, and process everything. You was already doing that, and now you're trying to do the opposite. Not saying that you're just trying to become an emotional ass person, but you're just trying to allow yourself the room to really be able to feel those emotions at times.
yeah.
That's funny how we're really the opposite. Fuck you.
Um,
Don't do me like that. Good. You don't need it. But nah, so as far as like the yeah, what the fuck was it called? Your emotions, like as a black man in itself, how do you think that the world view towards us black men like affects our relationships with people?
so, speaking on our experience, I feel like we're not allowed to have emotions. We're
Mm,
not allowed to feel sorry for ourselves. We're not allowed to like be depressed. We're not allowed to like be anything other than the provider strong, like push
mm-hmm,
through it, push past it. Like you're expected. It's like an unspoken expectation of you. Like you're a man, get up, boys don't
mm,
cry. Like all those different things from ever since as a child, you
mm-hmm.
automatically are taught to like suppress those emotions. And I think
But are we doing that to ourselves as men towards other men, or is it like society towards men, or is it women towards men?
it's all of the above.
Mm,
But for the most part, we do it. We do it. We've learned it from everyone else, but we do it to ourselves more.
mm,
Like, because like I said, it goes back to that point. It's like there comes a point where you make a decision and a choice to choose to continue to
mm-hmm.
be or think a certain type of way.
Right.
Um, and so yeah, I forgot what the main question was.
Like, how does it affect our relationships as being black men when it comes to our emotions?
I think that is what I think we see it like. That's what is. That's why you see a lot of. That's where the term crash out comes from. That's why you see a lot of like violence now. That's why you
Mm,
see a lot of addictions. That's why you see a
mm,
lot of like not even just drugs but sex. Like that. I think that's the biggest addiction that most men don't want to admit to or even talk about. Like
mm,
I think we've been in my honest opinion, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I always found it stupid to sit around talk about girls and like fucking this girl or that girl. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like that was stupid. I felt like that was. I feel like to prioritize like, oh, I got the baddest bitch. It's like, is that all you really gotta like?
Mm.
I don't know. To me, that's just I don't know. That's always been my
But at what?
perspective. Because, but to me,
Mm,
it's like even then, it's like I don't know. It's just like, just at what point do you not? It's like to me that just signifies like you don't have self control of like
yeah,
every single thing you walk in. You gotta like get at like you have no self control. You really have no
mm-hmm.
discipline. You really like,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Not, but because like I've had these conversations on TikTok Live, and I've stated many a times that I would tell any guy that stop focusing on women. Like, granted, yes, we love women. Like us as black men, we love our black women, but we like the women will always be there. They're going to come, but you got to focus on yourself. Most women don't want a man that don't have nothing going for themselves. Most women don't want a man that's emotionally unstable, that can't be a leader, that can't be a provider. A lot of stuff that women say that they want, that I be hearing, like men can do that. It's not that they can't. It's just, do they have the tools? Have they been like taught these things growing up? Like, are they in that space? And a lot of times we don't be in that space because we have not put ourselves in that space. We focus too much on the wrong things, like the cars, the jewelry, like trying to have the baddest bitch out there, try to do X, Y, and Z. It's like we focus on the wrong things instead of just bettering ourselves. Like that's a lot of our downfall. And
I'll
then
even add to that though. I feel like if you don't aspire or desire those different things, you are looked at and like you're outcasted. It's like you were that's not supported.
but
Like
you can
to
inspire to have those things, but
but what I mean,
you gotta put yourself in a position to
no.
get
So
those
what I mean
things.
by that though is just like the if your focus is not money, bitches, cars, clothes,
Mm-hmm.
you are automatically outcast. You're automatically weird or lame
Mm-hmm.
or X, Y, and Z when you choose to focus on yourself, when you choose to develop yourself,
Mm-hmm.
when you choose to do all of those different things. That's not like, so it's like, yeah, I do get the point of like, we're not taught those things, we're not put in those places. But then when we actually do, like, among, so
Mm-hmm.
like, that's not the type, it's not like we supporting or like pushing or cultivating. It's like those are the kids, those are the men that's laughed at. Those it's like,
Yeah.
oh, and you get because you don't like that's
But we
like
also uh, we got to be given that space and some grace as well. Like even us as men, like growing up, was there a lot of space that really allowed us to be able to talk and express ourselves and have these conversations? Like we wasn't really given a lot of space, especially in today's like time. There's a lot of space for women to express themselves. There's a lot of women to be able to say what they want to say and this and that third. But then once we open up our mouth, we're considered sassy. Once we open up our mouth and say, "This is what I would like. This is what I need. This is what I want," uh, we're viewed as like evil, manipulative. We're wrong. Like we're monsters. Like
well, so but I would. I'm cracking up. I mean, because the question. So I want to kind of stick to being it amongst men because I think that's like kind of like the female perspective.
well,
But I
I was
feel
just
like
more so trying to speak on the fact of when it comes to society in itself, how a lot of the stuff like everything is given here, but then us as men in itself, we're not given the space for us to really truly open up and like break down. Like break down all the way so we can be able to build up and really focus on what's needed.
I agree, but I'm also getting at the point that we don't hold that space for each other as
Hmm.
well. So it's
I think
like,
we're trying to now.
yeah, no. So yeah,
Back then, it was different because of the mindset. The mindset back then, like, and the reason why I asked the question earlier, like, who's the cause of that? Whether not it's the men, the times, or the women. Like, a lot of times, us as men, like, we're like, oh, like, get up, you're a boy, don't cry, you gotta be hard. Da, da, da. Like, we kind of raise our little boys into being a man and our idea of what a man is supposed to be. We're in it. Yes, we don't want to just raise a little boy to just be super emotional, but at least understanding his emotions, why something is affecting him, and be able to express himself, being able to speak on it. Like, I think that's where we need to get at. But growing up, for even our parents, like when it comes to our dads and stuff like that, for their upbringing, they wasn't given that space. They wasn't taught none of that. Like when it came to raising us, we wasn't taught that. We had to learn that. Now going on to the next generation, will like with the understanding that we have, we'll be able to raise those kids in a different way. But we seeing how these like was it Gen Z? Like
Hmm.
these motherfuckers out of pocket.
Yeah, but I mean, I also don't think that it's not even just about the emotions. Like, it's not even
Mm-hmm.
just about having like emotional intelligence, but it's also about like the environment, about like having principles, having
Mm-hmm.
morals, having like respect. We having like these different principles and values are not
Mm-hmm.
being instilled. Like, they're like what it means to be a leader, what it
Mm-hmm.
means to like showcase these different things. Like, those aren't things that's what's looked at as like, oh yeah, like, granted, yes, oh, like, we say that, but like the when you really look at it out
Mm-hmm.
into the world, or you hear conversations and you just see different stuff, like that's not what's
Mm-hmm.
promoted is drugs, guns, money. Like,
Yeah.
that's what's being pushed. So,
Well, to what you always say, what like the algorithm?
mm-hmm,
Like, what are you constantly subjecting yourself to? Like, what are you looking up in this, that, and third? Because the algorithm is going to show you what you want to see.
right.
Otherwise, if you want to see like other things, you're going to see other things. Like I
But
constantly.
to your point, but you said, we didn't have access to those things.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have da da da.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, like, you just,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah,
so I
yeah.
think, so, okay, let me ask you this then. What do you feel like it would take to develop men's minds and like shift the mindset? Like, what do you think? What are some like solutions to that?
Honestly, I think we need to start. Like I seen this on a episode. I forget who I forget the pastor name like that it was he be singing Kirk Franklin. It
Mm.
was he was sitting down with some athletes and
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I forget the person that it was that said this but I think the Val the
Mm.
Val said it from Fatima Zatima actually.
Mm.
Um he had said that growing up like his dad ended up at some point his dad ended up being open up he opened up to him, ended up letting him know like what was the hardships that he had to go through and this and that third. And so therefore that's what he does with his sons, because a lot of times we're not open. We don't allow the space for our kids to understand like what us as men have to go through, like how hard it is. Like once they start to understand, like kids are smart. Kids are very, very intelligent. So once they really start to get a grasp, like, oh, this is what dad has on his plate, this is what he has to deal with, this and that third, like we try to keep everything away. Sometimes we can just sit down and talk to the kids and let them know this is what's going on. Like so as trying to raise a little boy into a man, like once you start to open up to them, start to let them know the hardships, like what's hard, like your fears. Like if I'm like, hey, listen, I'm scared that you're going to go down this path because this is what I went through. This is what I had to, I dealt with growing up. This is what I seen, this and that there. And it makes me afraid for you every day. Like just sometimes being vulnerable with your son can go a long way. Like letting them know about your past, what you went through. That stuff, that I don't know how much more I can stress it on how that would really allow that little boy to really have not only even more respect for his dad, but it'll put him in a different space where he's like, yo, my dad really is my superhero. Like, I want to grow up to be, if I wanted to grow up to be like you before, I really want to grow up to be like you now. And that's going to give him the space to now raise his child to be just even better. Like sometimes we don't give the space like for ourselves to be open with our kids and for our kids to truly understand like what we're going through. Even though I ain't got no kids. I do need I do want to have kids one day though.
No, I feel that.
How you feel about what I just said though?
No, I agree. I agree. Not even with just kids. I think even just like amongst each other, like, just really creating that open space and that vulnerability. Like you gotta learn
Vulnerability.
vulnerability.
It's okay.
You gotta
I was
learn.
struggling to read on last episode, so
But nah, because it's like you can't wait till you have kids to start learning,
Mhm.
these different things. And so I feel like by making it, and then also, yeah, I feel like by us holding that space more and more for each
Mhm.
other, it then will kind of shift like the norm and it'll
Mhm.
become more acceptable. It'll be more like you'll kind of start to see, more mindset shifts.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
But what are some ways that you feel like that we can hold that space outside of, like, obviously, like the podcast realm?
Um, some of the different ways I think about it, my biggest thing is through events.
Mhm.
Um, and when I say events, I'm not even talking about just like the whole round table, like,
Mhm.
oh, come sit. People don't want to do that.
Mhm.
I understand, like, niggas want to have fun. So I feel like learning how to curate a space where niggas could come have fun,
Mhm.
not just like men, but women as
Mhm.
well. But creating a space where niggas could come have fun, but in the midst of that, sprinkling some like just planting seeds and like
Mhm.
you know just planting the little seeds of growth or like hey
Right.
having maybe maybe we might have a live panel of on like personal development mixed with
Mhm.
entrepreneurs or something like that.
Mhm.
But then after it's like
Some
a
spokesmen and stuff like that.
well, no, not that. But then
Right.
after it's like a little, after party or whatever the case might
Mhm.
be, like something that gets people to come into one space.
Mhm.
Once you have, like, I feel like once you have like people in one space and you
Mhm.
kind of like control that you kind of are in control of that environment and
Mhm.
kind of like have a you know
No incubation chamber
hmm
for that.
to kind of like do
Mm.
something. But then obviously community outreach. I feel like really just getting back into the streets and talking to people. Like
You think we got away from that a lot growing up?
social media has ruined like people's social skills.
Mm.
It'd be so funny. I'd be having a lot of different little thoughts. Like that's why my relationship with social media is like I'm
Mhm.
definitely want to change my relationship with it. But we'll talk about that on another episode. When it affects social media. But anyways, I think that social media is one of the biggest like causes of a lot of anxiety, depression,
Really?
insecurity.
Why you say that?
I mean, because all you're doing is comparing yourself
Mm.
constantly all day. Every time you're bored, like for example, today my phone service went out for like 2 hours,
Mhm.
and observing myself, we were so addicted. Like as soon as we feel a instant second of boredom, the
Mhm.
first thing we do is like run for our phone.
Mhm.
And like I know I'm not the only one that do that, so that's why I say we. So it's like first thing we do is
Don't
like
say we. I don't. No, I'm playing. I do.
everybody. I'm the only nigga in there with no phone. And everybody at work. That's all people do all day, every day. But
I'll be on my laptop watching anime.
same difference. Same difference. But
Social media, how it affects. How, how social media affects us.
um oh, you asked me why I said it was the cause.
Mm.
Yeah, because all we do is compare ourselves. You look at highlight reels, you don't know what's real. You formulate, you're
Mhm.
taking in all this information. You being sold something every second.
Mhm.
So it's like all of your brain is just taking in all of this information, and so now it's like you feel like you become unsatisfied with your life
Mhm.
because what you're seeing in screen is not what you're seeing in reality.
Mhm.
You work this kind of like it's just even when you just look at on social media, and again, it could just be based off of the algorithm. Like it's again, I guess, yeah, it's really based on your algorithm. But
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I done said it. Stole it from you.
yeah, but like yeah, what you say, yeah, it just. And
Mm-hmm.
it's funny is that that's why I said like I'm gonna get to a space where it's like when I have these different thoughts, I wanna like do research and like
Mm-hmm.
find different articles and share that. There's plenty of articles out there about
Why
that.
wait till you get that space? Why not just do it then?
Well, there's other things I'm working on right now. I think that's like something for a hobby, to
Mm,
de-stimulate my mind.
mm,
But
okay. Nah, like as far as like the whole relationship, like how we how our emotions really like be affecting our relationships on a daily basis and everything. When I sit back and I think about sometimes where we have conversations compared to me and somebody else having conversations, I really be like, damn, like how my trauma affects me is how, like, prime example, you already know one of our coworkers and everything, and like how she's like, oh, I hate all men. It's like, damn, all men? Like, what the? Why all men? Like, and just hearing that does trigger me because it's like you not only are talking about like certain people that you probably came across, but you're injecting all people into your thought process and try to make it seem like we're all the same. And that does trigger me. That does make me feel some type of way. It's like, damn, like I ain't do shit to you. Granted, I did something to her now, but like it's like, but during that time, it's like you kind of sit here and say like you hate all men, and I've heard that rhetoric. Like I told you, I be on TikTok live all the time, and I be hearing that rhetoric a lot, and I'm like, why are you saying this? Like, where's this coming from? Like, what trauma have you experienced that makes you say I hate men and all men specifically? And I be having to try to really like ask people specific questions. What in your life, throughout your life, have you experienced that caused this trauma for you to be there? Not what other people experienced, not what somebody else has done to somebody else, but what directly have you experienced? Like, and I, a lot of times they don't be having like direct answers for like to me. They can't really give me a specific like, oh, what has going on in their life.
I think it's a combination of different reasons for that. Most number one reason being is most people don't want to face their demons.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's a part of their identity. So it's like by giving up, like by basically letting go or like letting go of like the whole I hate men, like the I hate
Mm-hmm.
men thing is like a part of someone's identity. It's like what fuels them. It's like their mindset. It fuels their thoughts, and
Mm-hmm.
it's their way how they go about life because they're operating through that space of trauma. So it's like when you take that away, it's like who does that person become? So it's like sometimes it's easier whether or not it's good or not for you. Sometimes I feel like it's easier to stay if this is all I like, if this is what I have known, or this is how I've become, and this is what I've known, and this is like
Mm-hmm.
in a sense kept me protected, then that's just how I'm going to continue to
So you
be.
just double down on that motherfucker, even if you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to think about it. You're not looking like I told you earlier. When you're operating from a space of trauma, you don't see clearly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even see how you're showing up. So it's like I think I do. So like to play devil's advocate a little bit, I do like understand why some women have that sentiment because they have been through very
Mm-hmm.
traumatic sentiment. So it's like they get to a point where it's like, and I think we all do that as people when you experience or when you constantly experience heartbreak or when you constantly
Mm-hmm.
experience shock, it's like it makes you shut off from,
Yeah,
the world.
individually, but that's why, like I said, I ask specific questions towards that person. What have you experienced? Like, prime example, I
Mm-hmm.
would ask, like, I've asked my ex, like, hey, like, what in in your life have you experienced a lot of men like sit here and be ain't shit fathers, not show up for their kids, not be like around, not actually being a active and present father. Like she's experienced that with probably a couple people. Like I don't remember the exact number, but it's very low. And I'm like, I get why you feel the way that you do, but that's not the whole case. Because in my experience, all the guys that I'm around that have kids, present and active fathers, want to be 100% a part of their kids' life, are getting married, are starting families.
I
But
think that goes back to experience and like I've also come to accept the fact that two things can be true, guys. It's like it goes back to your algorithm, and when I
mm,
say algorithm, not just on social media, but just your algorithm in life. Like
mm,
you can make that statement because that's what you experience, that's what you see, that's what your environment see you, and
mm,
then when you go online, that's probably what you see. But for somebody who, on the contrary,
mm,
that's what she sees. That's what she sees out in the world. That's what all of these different things that she supports that belief for her to have that
mm,
belief. So it doesn't mean I don't think it's necessarily about neither one of you being wrong, right or
mm,
wrong. It's just more so about y'all have different experiences.
yeah,
So it's like no, I just this made me have another thought. I do feel like we do put the burden of other people to fix our trauma.
mm,
Like because then it comes to the point where it's like a person has to reach a level of maturity or acceptance with their trauma to realize that although this is true and people are like this and not everybody is like this to be able to build anew. Like when I say build anew, I just mean like change their perspective, change their experiences with people. Like
I, I I agree. I agree to that. Like, a lot of times, like I will say that it's been plenty of times where people will try to put the burden on somebody else. Like for me, I gladly will welcome somebody come to me and say, "Hey, what should I need to do to fix this?" Like I have one of my friends. He comes to like it's wrong for me to say this, but um, he'll constantly be like, "Oh, like I'm finna off myself, this, that, and the third, da, da, da." I'm like, and I'm like, bro, like, what in your life are you really going through? Like, I genuinely ask him because I've known him for many years. He's been saying this for years. I'm like, bro, at this point, you're becoming the boy who cried wolf. Like, you can't sit here and constantly keep saying this. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to 302 your ass, and you need to go see some help. But you're sitting here telling me like, oh, you wanna take yourself out the game and not know how how that's going to affect people, and you're constantly comparing yourself to a lot of other things, when I'm like, bro, like a lot of stuff that you went through, that you're going through, is self-inflicted wounds. Like you put yourself in these positions because you did not listen to any of the advice that either I or some other people have given you. So yes, you're going through a lot. Your life is not good because of your own decisions. So to sit here and put all that burden on other people and make it seem like nobody cares about you, nobody loves you, and this and that third, I'm like, that's not the truth. Like that's might be how you feel, but no, people care. You just aren't actively listening. You're putting yourself in these positions.
yeah, when I kind of said that, the more I think a better more example that I was thinking of more so in my head is like using relationships for example. Let's say the girl that gets cheated on, a guy or girl that gets cheated on. I think, and if that happens a few times, I think what can easily happen is that like the next person you deal with, because you're still operating from that trauma space, you put this unrealistic burden of them to like prove to you that they're like they have to go,
Trustworthy.
yeah, like they
Mm-hmm.
have to, but they only have to do all of that because you're still holding on to all of the hurt
Mm-hmm.
from your previous relationship. So that's kind of what I meant by like just that.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, because like you put the burden on like, or even on the friendship level, it's like you put the burden on people to check in on you and ask you how you're doing
Mm-hmm.
or how you're feeling and this and third, but you don't say nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
It's like it's these different little subtle ways that I think that we do kind of like.
Yeah, I experienced, especially the first one, like the most, because it's been relationships I've had where if I have female friends, they're like, oh, like I don't want you having female friends or being friends with your ex or anything. I'm like, why? Like I have, like I tell them all the time, you can be friends with your ex. I don't care. Like that's not going. You dropping like your so-called guy friends or your female or your exes is not going to stop you from cheating. It's not. Is if I think you're going to cheat, then I shouldn't even be with you. I shouldn't. Like, but I'm giving you my trust until you break it. Like, but a lot of times I'm being put in a position where it's like, oh, like you need to drop your female friends or like somebody that you're still friends with that's your ex and whatnot. I'm like, why? Like, I'm not doing nothing, and do you trust me? If you don't trust me, then it's because you're still holding on to something. Like if I have never done anything for you not to trust me, then why not just trust me? Like what am I actively doing that's giving you like red flags? Like, oh, don't trust him. If I'm doing something, then why be with me? Like, you're just gonna put yourself in a bad position because at that point, then I could be petty enough to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna make your fucking fears come true. Then go cheat on your ass. But I'm not. I'm not that petty. Maybe. Maybe. But no, I'm not gonna do that. Black men don't cheat. Exactly, Nate.
We have affairs.
Nah, what's the shit that she said? That Jada Pinkett Smith said.
Entanglement.
Yeah, we don't have affairs. We don't cheat. We have entanglements. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. We have any comments on there, like or questions? No.
No cracking up.
About my stuff? I'm geeking.
Which you're Ashley? Tell. Hey.
She probably done left out of the live by now.
Okay,
I'm geeking. But yeah, any other questions for me, sir?
Nah. That's all I got on my mind today.
That's all you got in your back pocket. How much time we at, Nate? Hour and 12. God damn. Shit. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. We are in a new space, everybody. Like, to touch on that a little bit, we kind of had to vacate the previous space, due to them, like, I guess, shutting down. So we had to commandeer somebody else's space. Had to come up here and like first time recording in here, and I think I like it. You like it?
I like it, and it's right up the street from the house.
We got the Tupac background. We got the Eves over here, which get the fuck out of here, bro, because you over here with the goddamn Giants. Like, where are they at? Nah, but we was further. Stop it. We was further. Don't try me. We were not. We're in the basement, bro. We made it further than y'all. So don't try me on that. But nah, I think I like the space like this. For now, like this is where we're going to be hosting a lot of our conversations for our episodes. And pretty soon we're going to be losing our good friend, our engineer. You ain't going to be able to hear. Nah. It has to be known because they're not going to be able to hear your commentary in the background no more. It has to be known. Shit, I said it on the last episode anyway. I had to relay the information. But any other news? I got a new tattoo. Eat one. Yeah, I think that's all for you. All right. You got any questions, Nate? All right. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. If you like this episode, please make sure that you follow, like, comment, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms at Traumaless Podcast. And make sure that you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Please do. Again, if you like this episode, hit that button. Yeah, I'm your host, JR. It's my co-host, Pat. Stay tuned to the next episode. We out.
Unhealed. Joe's got the beats.
Look, and we came to turn it out. And it ain't over, so just hang over till the gang is out. Get the bacon, shake it, bounce, and the shake and break and make it money till the bank is out. And the shawty keep him busy with it, keep it dizzy with it. Love it when she getting jiggy with it, and she throw it all around, trying to spin around, but it ain't over till it's over. We ain't finished now. And she winning now, getting figures now. Tell her get 'em now, put it in her mouth. I'ma hit it now, hit it, split it, kick her out.